Clashes erupt between Anyanwu Okoye supporters at PDP BoT meeting. FG imposes 3-month suspension on Marks over Kano incident. Land grabbing, unapproved developments spark growing concerns in the FCT. Another foreigns in Rwanda-backed rebels strengthen grip on Goma amid regional talks. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. Good evening, thank you for joining us. Tensions escalated into a physical altercation at the National Secretariat of the People's Democratic Party PDP during a meeting of the party's Board of Trustees BoT on Wednesday. The clash arose over the presence of two claimants to the position of National Secretary, Sam Anyanwu and Sunday Ude-Okoye. The confrontation began shortly after the meeting's opening ceremony when an aide to Anyanwu confronted Ude-Okoye, forcibly ejecting him from the hall. Attempts by Ude-Okoye to re-enter sparked a fight with the BoT chairman and former Senate President Adolphus Wabara, stepping in to restore order to no avail. The situation intensified when individuals believed to be supporters of Ude-Okoye forced the gate open and ushered him back into the hall. The federal government has announced the suspension of operations by Marks Air following Tuesday night's incident involving the airline's aircraft in Kano. A Marks Air B734 aircraft with registration Marks 5N MBD had experienced a tire burst on landing at Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, Kano, on Tuesday night. This would be the third incident in the space of 3 months involving a Marks Air plane. Though the 53 passengers on board were evacuated unhurt, the aircraft was temporarily shut before the runway was reopened by the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria found by 8 a.m. on Wednesday. The Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, NSIB, also initiated an investigation into the occurrence. However, the regulatory authority, the NCAA, in a statement confirming the incident, said it would provide the required support to the NSIB in this regard. The statement said the suspension is with effect from midnight of 31st January 2025 to allow for an internal appraisal of its operations by its management. Justice Marian Anene of the Federal Capital Territory High Court, Abuja, has adjourned the trial in the alleged money laundering case against the immediate past governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, to 3rd, 24th April and 6th May 2025. Justice Anene adjourned the case for continuation of hearing after the first witness, Fabian Wara, a property developer, was called to testify. At today's proceedings, the prosecution counsel, Kemi Pinheiro SAN, informed the court that he had 5 witnesses to call for the day, but Justice Marian Anene said she could only take 1 witness. Counsel for the first and second defendants, Joseph Dauda SAN, however, informed the court that the prosecution had not made the statements on oath of the second defendant available to the defense team. He also said he was aware that the first defendant had not made any statement yet. Still on court matters, the Federal High Court sitting in Ado-Ekiti has struck out the case of defamation against human rights lawyer Dele Farotimi, instituted against him by the Inspector General of Police IGP Kayode Batoko. The prosecuting counsel, Samson Oshobu, told the court on Wednesday that he had filed a notice of discontinuance and withdrawal brought pursuant to Section 108 subsection 12A of the Administrations of Criminal Justice Act 2015. Oshobu said the notice is to withdraw the charge against the defendant and pray that the charge be struck out. According to him, the nominal complainant, Afebe Balola, has expressed his desire to discontinue the case. Counsel to the defendant, A. Olumide Fushika SAN, accepted the discontinuance and withdrawal. Justice Babs Okwewumi, in his ruling, thereafter struck out the suit. In recent years, land grabbing and unapproved developments have become increasingly prevalent in the Federal Capital Territory (FCT). Reports indicate a troubling rise in the number of land encroachments and illegal land transactions affecting both individuals and corporations alike. Erupts At tells us more.
Land grabbers who now operate in well-coordinated syndicates employ various tactics to illegally acquired property. Such tactics include encroaching on lands that have already been allocated to legitimate owners, converting temporary site allocations into permanent ownership without authorization, extending development beyond the boundaries of allocated land, as well as forging land documents to facilitate fraudulent sales and ownership claims. These tactics have become a widespread issue, leaving many landowners with no legal recourse. He explains how his company acquires specific piece of property only for developers to claim ownership fraudulently.
When we were signing this joint venture agreement, we didn't make that person a director of the land asset. He was only the developer asset. However, for you to be able to sign a COO, it has to be the landowner. So it stands to show that he used this cover to misrepresent himself as the owner. Not only did he not just misrepresent himself as a shareholder or a director, he misrepresented to the authorities who could have been misled that he is actually the owner of Jonah Capital. And in exchange for his service, which is also spelled out in this agreement, my principal gave him 30% of the land, which again is annotated here, where you see in the layout of the estate here, you see the signatures and the individual signature here.
Kojo further described the aggressive methods employed by these developers, sharing a particular troubling experience where a mob was sent to intimidate and invade his property.
And in this instance, I have made a report to the embassies of my country. The Ghana High Commission has been informed.
The encroachment on Kojo's land, he adds, is not just a matter of illegal development. Legal action has been initiated with court orders in place to address the issue. However, the process remains slow as the situation continues to worsen despite the legal proceedings. A real estate expert explained the procedures for land acquisition in the capital city.
Plots that are FCD plots, as ones that comes with FCDR of O, the ones from AGs and C of O, they are not so much open to land grabbing. Where you encounter land grabbing most of the time are municipal plots, AMAC plots, Koji, Papi, what other area council plots. Those are the ones, and the reason is because it's not fully plotted on the system. In fact, even with your paper, you have to go and some sort of register before you'll be given a TDP, signed TDP and stuff. So this signed TDP usually is what is being compromised. So these land grabbers, maybe they clone signatures of most of these directors from FCD.
Despite numerous requests for interviews, relevant government ministries have yet to respond, leaving the public and affected individuals without adequate information or support in addressing these growing issues. Habibat Ajayi, Trust TV News, Abuja.
A two-story building has collapsed at the Mega Mall Estate, Mobile Road, in Ipa Villa, Ikotaja, in Lagos. The immediate cause of the incident is unknown. Reports say so far the bodies of an adult male and a young boy were recovered, while 5 adult males with serious injuries have been rescued and taken to the hospital. Information indicates that more people are likely to still be under the rubble. Meanwhile, search and rescue operation is still ongoing.
Give him space. Give him space.
Deputy spokesman of the House of Representatives, Philip Agbese, on Wednesday said the Green Chamber will not approve frivolous demands made by ministries, departments and agencies, MDAs, in the 49.70 trillion naira 2025 appropriation bill before it. He said the House, through its various committees, had thoroughly reviewed the appropriation bill in the course of the budget's defense sessions and would only pass a budget that will work in the best interest of Nigerians. President Tinubu had, while presenting the appropriation bill to a joint session of the National Assembly in December 2024, said the 2025 budget targets a revenue of 34.82 trillion naira to fund the budget, including 15.81 trillion naira for debt servicing. Agbese, a member of the All Progressives Congress from Benue State, while giving an update on the budget defense exercise, said the various committees of the House have taken time to work on the budget estimates of the various ministries, departments and agencies ahead of the passage of the 2025 budget. According to the Benue lawmaker, the House under the leadership of Speaker Tajuddin Abbas will always prioritize integrity while dealing with any national assignment. The national chairman of Jama'atu Islatul Bidda, Abdullahi Bala Low, has broken his silence over the controversy surrounding the sponsorship of the upcoming Quran Convention. Speaking to Trust TV in Abuja on Tuesday, Sheikh Low addressed mounting criticism over alleged federal government funding for the event. He dismissed the backlash, asserting that Jibwis, like other religious organizations, has the right to receive government support.
This convention is all about the presentation of Holy Quran, where the reciters of the Holy Quran, memorizers and reciters of the Holy Quran, will come together under one umbrella, under the leadership of His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto. This conference or this convention is organized by the Spring Council of Islamic Affairs in Nigeria, and all the Islamic organizations were invited. Izala, we are part of that. So on that, we think it is obligatory upon us to tell our teaming viewers, teaming followers, there is no sole sponsor of this program. It's just mere saying. People are saying, they're saying what they want. But as far as we are concerned, even you want your contributions. Please bring your contributions. I will bring my own. So Muslim Ummah cannot sponsor this kind of program. If this program is going to cost 1 billion or 2 billion, if under my organization, in a month we can be able to produce and bring up to 600 million naira or 1 billion naira, what do you think other organizations, they cannot do that? So Muslim Ummah cannot be able to do. And even if government want to take part and bring contribution, who will say no? Are we not part of the government? We brought the government to power. So we have the right that government should sponsor, should bring assistance. They want peace and harmony to reign in Nigeria.
You're still on to news updates on Trust TV. Still to come. Health and environmental risk from firewood use drive push for sustainable transition. When we return, please do stay with us. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Now a recap of our top stories. We told you that clashes erupt between Anyanwu Okoye supporters at PDP Board of Trustees meeting. We also informed you that the federal government has imposed a 3-month suspension on Mark's Air over Kanu incident. Two more stories. Billions worldwide still rely on firewood and charcoal for cooking, methods that endanger health and the environment. At the Nigeria Climate Change Forum, stakeholders emphasized the urgent need for innovative solutions to drive a sustainable transition. Here's the report.
As the forum wrapped up in Abuja, Discussions ignited a sense of urgency over 70% of Nigerian households that depend on traditional fuels, with women and children bearing the greatest burden. Minister of Women Affairs Iman Suleiman Ibrahim highlighted how climate change disproportionately affects women, yet excludes them from decision-making. She urged stakeholders to adopt a gender-inclusive approach, making clean cooking central to Nigeria's climate action strategy.
So I feel there is a low-hanging fruit for all of us partners if we come together to make it a point to achieve clean and safe cooking. We also committed to training households in clean cooking solutions. We'll provide training for 1 million households on using clean cooking technologies, such as clean stoves, to reduce both health risk and environmental impacts. We're committed to equipping 1 million women with the skills and knowledge needed to adopt sustainable farming practices that enhance food security and resilience to climate-induced shock.
House lawmakers also reaffirmed their commitment to prioritizing policies and bills that promote climate resilience. Tessa Ogbo, Deputy Chairman of the House Committee on Environment, stressed the need for collective action to drive sustainable change.
Climate change is real and it's happening all around us every single day. And we, as people, as a country and as individuals, need to do everything, and we all need to have our hands on deck to ensure that we do our little parts to bring a positive change to our environments and our climate as a country.
Climate change experts and advocates weighed in on the transition drive, highlighting challenges and the role of sustainable innovation in achieving zero emissions.
The obvious thing that we need to do is to move away from generating our energy from fossil fuel to generating our energy from renewable sources. The good news is that increasingly generating energy from renewable sources such as solar and hydro and wave have become more competitive. The unit cost of generating energy from solar has fallen dramatically, and in some cases have become cheaper. It's become cheaper to generate energy through solar than through oil and gas.
Sustainability gaps in Nigeria, there are quite a number of them, but let me take maybe 3. So waste management is a very big gap. We do not have a lot of waste management companies, because if we say we're going to leave that to the government, it's also not going to be sustainable, because truthfully, it's not everything that the government can do. We too have to come out to do that. And then the case of flooding also is also something that the government has to take seriously and make sure that they put more efforts to be able to mitigate all of this.
The message is clear. Clean cooking is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Achieving it will require scaling up innovations, reducing costs, and empowering women as key stakeholders in Nigeria's sustainable transition. Aisha Haruna, reporting for Trust TV.
The federal government says it deported 828 illegal immigrants in 2024 as part of its intensified efforts to combat irregular migration and enhance national security. The Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo disclosed this at a media parley in Abuja on Tuesday. As part of broader reforms, the government implemented measures to modernize border operations and immigration systems. These include integrating Nigerian passports into the International Civil Aviation Organization Public Key Directory, allowing seamless verification worldwide, and establishing a centralized visa approval center in Abuja to streamline visa processing. To support these initiatives, an 8.3 petabyte data center, the largest in Africa, has been constructed, and a solar-powered infrastructure was introduced to ensure uninterrupted operations. He added that a command and control center now provides real-time monitoring of all land and air entry points, boosting surveillance capabilities. Away from Nigeria, Rwanda-backed rebels captured large parts of eastern Congo's largest city, including its airport. The United Nations said as Rwanda's president on Wednesday joined calls for a ceasefire in the decades-long conflict. Much of the beleaguered city of Goma was calm early Wednesday morning after a day during which thousands of fleeing people hunkered down by roadsides as missiles flew and injured people streamed to overwhelmed hospitals. While government forces still control pockets of Goma, residents said the M23 rebel group was in control of much of the city. The M23 rebels, who claimed to have captured the city on Monday after a week-long advance, are one of about 100 armed groups vying for foothold in mineral-rich eastern Congo. The conflict escalated with the rebels advancing to Goma, which left bodies on the streets and drove hundreds of thousands of already displaced people to flee once again. And in sports, the International Cricket Council, ICC, has saluted Nigeria following their dramatic win against Ireland at the 2025 Under-19 Women's T20 World Cup in Malaysia. It's Wednesday's Super 6 Group 2 clash. Nigeria overcame the Irish by 6 runs to finish in 3rd place. The win, however, was not enough as Nigeria missed out on qualification for the semi-finals. Despite missing the chance to be in the last 4, the ICC showered plaudits on the Nigerian team for their performance on Wednesday. In a match that went right down to the wire, Nigeria kept their cool to clinch a dramatic 1-wicket win over Ireland. Also, Lilian Uday was named player of the match for her all-round contribution, which included a crucial 12 off 11 with the bat. Wednesday's win against Ireland was Nigeria's second at the World Cup after defeating New Zealand in the group stage. That's it for news updates at this time. For more of our news programs and documentaries, do follow us on our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. Thank you for joining us at this time. Good evening.